She took one. I'd pull up videos on her phone because I know she was sending them to people. I mean, there was a video specifically, I was cutting steak and it was like 6 minutes, just over and over the same piece, just cutting it. I'd go into these trances. And I remember it now, like going into a trance and telling myself to come out of it, and I couldn't. I'd forget to come out of it. I would. I'd lose track of time. I didn't know. I thought I was going fucking crazy. And then it was the whole CTE thing was coming on board, and it's like, yep, this is exactly what this shit is. Like, everything got super dark. Oh, fuck, man. I'd sit in my, I just wanted to die. I did. I wanted to fucking die, and I didn't know why. I had the picture perfect life. Had a badass wife, gorgeous kid, dream job. Fucking, my life was heaven, and all I wanted to do was die.
Yeah.
I didn't know why. I'd sit in my guest room with that fucking dog of mine, and I'd talk to him. I would. Like, that dog saved me more times than any fucking thing else, dude. I'd sit there and the obsession over the details are probably what saved me the most, because I'd think about putting Patsy through that. I'd think about the reality of shooting myself and the scene it would make in this house, the mess it would make, that she's going to have to clean that up. What's my kid going to find out? Or what are they going to say when they find out? And I ended up just not doing it. But I wanted to. And then I started to turn into other things. Like, I got to get my rocks off somehow. Like, what's my outlet going to be? Like, threading the needle. Like, that was the only thing that made me feel alive. Is the sketchier shit would go, the more I liked it. Man, it just... That TBI shit gets away from you fast. And nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
Sit in those fucking rooms, and I know those dudes feel the exact same way I do, and they're not saying anything. And they never did. I think that started to drive a wedge because I needed it so bad. I needed someone to confirm that I wasn't going fucking crazy. And because of the teams, you know, not wanting to show weakness, no one did. And I thought I was alone. Other people, you know, they check in, they do this, they do that, but it didn't matter. Like, I'm not telling anybody I'm fucked up. I'm just wondering why no one else has anything wrong with them.
Yeah.
Like, none of this shit ever affects you? Nothing? Like, you're not human? No? You never get headaches? Nope. You ever feel weird after a full day of breaching? Nope. You ever piss blood? Nope. You ever forget where the fuck you're at? Nope. Maybe I am crazy. Maybe I am the only fucking one. That drove me way down the fucking rabbit hole. Because now I've spent my entire life to hit a fucking pinnacle, and I can't remember anything. It's all escaping me. Yeah, I mean, Patsy, she called the command. She called my boss, and she's like, you have no idea what the fuck is going on with him. She's like, he's gonna kill himself. She's like, he needs you guys right fucking now. We have to figure this out. And Nike was very new on the scene right then. So that was 2014. Went inpatient NICO for 30 days, and they did a whole workup on me and put me on all kinds of fancy prescriptions. And they helped. They did. I thought I was having seizures. I didn't know what a panic attack was. I didn't know what real anxiety was. I remember sitting in the chow hall, and I remember sweating into my food, and people looking at me, like sweating through my beard, because of so much sensory overload in that fucking cafeteria. Chopping, chewing, hitting the fork, banging, the dude in the back washing pots and pans, it all just consumed me. And I'd just sit there and I'd just start fucking sweating. Like, fuck, man, I gotta get the fuck out of here, get the fuck out of here. And I'd have to leave. And I tried to make it not a big deal, but it was a big deal because I was solo. Actually, I wasn't solo, just no one fucking tell me.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went up to NICO, we did the full workup, got put on a bunch of different meds, probably 15 prescriptions. Got put on a stimulant, so Adderall, to kind of keep me focused, which helped. Cymbalta, We did Zoloft. We did everything. Prazosin at night to stop the dreams. We did beta blockers. We did everything. And basically ran that concoction along with tramadol and everything else, basically the duration. It wasn't until the very end when I got hurt one more time when I realized what that shit actually was. But.
Let's take a break there. All right, so we're back from NICO. You got the prescriptions. Did they give you any insight as to what was going on with you medically?
Yeah, they went through the full body, head to toe, every MRI, contrast. I mean, everything you could do to the human body, they ran tests for. Had a couple spots on the brain, but nothing crazy. But they also back it up with, we've had people come in here in wheelchairs pushing themselves around on straws with no spots in their brain. So they couldn't really make rhyme or reason. Just concussion, operator syndrome, a bunch of that kind of stuff. The TBI ocular stuff, so the overpressure messed up my right eye, so I can't really focus it. So they called it TBI-related ocular dysfunction. So I've got to wear glasses. Like if I really try to dial in a shot, it all goes to a haze. I can't do a super finite focus. So it makes shooting kind of weird. My depth perception's kind of off, but I'm used to it now. And then I had 5 surgeries I had to get. They wanted to do both shoulders, both hips, and my lower back. The neck was they wanted to do a, fuck, I can't even remember. Some kind of surgery on my neck. And I did not want to do it. All the docs were like, hey, if you can get by, then push it off. Like, I didn't want to get surgery. I didn't want to miss a deployment. We were gearing back up. I mean, I was in that thing for 30 days. Like, I was going fucking crazy.
All this shit is happening to you, and you're worried about missing a fucking deployment?
That's the only fucking thing I cared. That's why I was so pissed. I was like, why can't I just go to Portsmouth right up the road and come to work every day? And I didn't realize what NICO was. It's to get away from the phone, decompress completely. And it was fucking rough, man. That I was not good with that shit. To be able to pull the phone away, because you're glued to it. You're waiting for that thing to ring to say to come to work all fucking day. And it becomes, my nightly routine, dude. I'd check that phone. Team guys exaggerate. This is no exaggeration. I bet you I checked that phone 50 times a day.
Damn.
To make sure my battery was charged. Was the charging cable plugged in right? Like all that different shit. Like I have a serious phobia with being late, like an unhealthy one. And the thought of missing a movement was not a fucking option. I wouldn't go on family vacations that involve flying or long distance travel. If we had a trip coming up, like, no, I can't miss work. I can't do it. So we get there and we're in NICO and we're doing the whole thing. And that facility was amazing. From the acupuncture to, I mean, everything they did there was amazing. And they fucking saved me. I was in a bad spot. And they see all kinds of people. That staff really bent over backward to me. And I think it's because they saw where I worked. They saw how young I was, and they saw how devastated I was, that I was potentially done. And they came in at the end of it, 30 days. They diagnosed me with all kinds of crazy shit. I mean, everything. And they recommended that I get medically retired. He's like, hey, it's not going to get better, dude. He's like, you need major surgery all over. And they almost got me. They almost got me. They pulled a guilt trip and they were like, do you think you can perform your best like this? And I knew the answer was no. But my ego caught me. And I went, fucking outperform you. Give me these meds and let me go see. And dude, I ran hard. I ran full tilt for the next 4 years. From 14 to 18, as hard as I could go. Never missed a day of work. It was the best time of my life.
What did your wife think? Did she want you to retire?
Yeah, because what nobody else saw is what I was like at home. I was fucking vile, man. I spit venom out of my mouth all day long. I was just fucking hateful. I hated everything. Anything that wasn't to do with work, I didn't want anything to do with it. My daughter was a burden. Being married was a burden. Having a dog was a burden. Having to do taxes was a fucking burden. Like, why can't you just let me be like one of the 300 fucking Spartans and let me just do this? This is my profession. Can everybody just cater to me and walk around and fucking fan me? That's what I wanted. I did. Like, my ego consumed me, and anything that potentially could derail me or slow me down in any way was not an option. It just wasn't. I couldn't let it happen. And the only way to obsess over work, and I felt, and do it at the full commitment that I needed to, was to have no attachments. So I emotionally started to separate from my wife, from my kids. I tried to play the game when I came home, but it wasn't. I was thinking about work the entire time. I didn't want to change diapers. I wanted a kid so fucking bad with her. And in 2013, I got one. And I was through the fucking roof, man. I've never been so happy my whole life. And I went overseas. She was, 2 months old when I got hurt. And when I came back, it ate me alive. And when I went to NICO, it got even worse. Now I'm separated. Now they're telling me there's something wrong with me and it's not going to get better. Now I look at my family and I start to resent them, like, you fucking did this to me. If I wasn't thinking about being a fucking father, if I wasn't thinking about being a husband, it probably wouldn't have fucking happened to me. I started to blame shift on everybody. That's just what I did. I threw my walls back up. I'm like, yep, we're gonna lean forward in this. I'm gonna give this thing everything I can, and I'm gonna ride this fucker all the way through. I never in a million years thought I'd get medically retired. Never. I'd never fucking let him. No. There's no fucking way. I'm too hurt, but I'm medicated. I'm fine. Like, I'm good. I was shooting Imitrex probably 5-6 times a week. Auto injectors for migraines. I was taking essentially a lethal dose of Maxalt for migraines. You're supposed to take 3 a week. I'd take 3 a day. I was in a fucking jam, man. When the sun would come up and crest, my world ended. When that sunlight hit my eyes, it was over.
Were you deploying with all this?
Yep. I wore sunglasses all the time. Medicated. It got real bad one night. It was probably 10 o'clock at night. I walked into the kitchen, and I don't know why. I don't know what the fuck I was doing, but I hit the microwave, and the light came on and hit my eyes just right, and I fucking collapsed. I pissed myself. Started dry heaving. I'm in the fetal position, just shaking. I was shaking so hard, and I didn't know why. I couldn't control it. It felt like I was going to break my own hands. It was all I could do. It was like I was trying to pop my own head off by squeezing everything as tight as I could. And I hadn't had a migraine like that in a while because I stayed doped up all the time. I was constantly taking Maxalt and Imitrex and everything else, and I thought I had him at bay, and this fucking thing hit me, dude. And she was trying to call 911. I'm screaming at her. I'm calling her every name in the book. Don't you fucking dare. That was her big threat. She's like, I'm going to call your troop chief. Don't you fucking dare. Don't you fucking dare. And she should have. I was in a bad spot, man. And everything on me hurt. So like you said, if I'd miss a dose of Tramadol, I felt everything I had. I'd go to the gym in the morning and I'd fake it, and I was fucking miserable. Like, I had never felt that much pain. I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia when I was up there, and for the ones that don't know, it's basically a made-up term. It's when you have agonizing pain and they can't tell you why, they label it fibromyalgia. But for me, it felt like I had shin splints on every ounce of my body. Like when you shook my hand, it felt like you were breaking my hands. My feet, when I would walk, I could feel it. It felt like my feet were splintering. It was terrible. Every step I took, I was just in agonizing fucking pain. So I just ate painkillers all day. And I masked it, and I trained, and I deployed, and I did every trip I could, anything to get me away from Virginia Beach to just escape reality. And it didn't pay off. I was hurt a lot worse than I really thought I was. I felt bad. I didn't realize it was only a matter of time before it all came apart. I'd go through these long bouts of depression, weeks on end. I wouldn't want to speak. I'd sit there, I wouldn't want to eat. I'd lose motivation. I wouldn't want to go work out, and then I'd start to make excuses. When you lose focus on the why, you don't have the targets that you want, you don't have funding, you don't have the leadership you want, you don't have this, you don't have that, and you lose focus on why you're actually there, because none of that shit fucking matters. The enemy hopes you're not training. He hopes you don't have funding. He hopes you haven't seen the inside of the gym in 2 fucking weeks. He hopes you don't know where your guns are right now. That's what he's hoping. And I let it consume me. And I just started to hate everything. And then I found skydiving.
You start doing that recreational?
Yeah. I really started to obsess over it. Like that was kind of my thing when I was at the command anyway. I wanted to be a breacher. That's all I wanted to be. I fucking love breaching. And the team I rolled into had a bunch of badass breachers already. They don't need another one. They need a guy to run all the air stuff. So I went way down the jump rabbit hole. And the only bad thing about that is it's so far removed from what the teams are, because it's such a civilian-dominated sport, that I started to hang out with everybody who wasn't a team guy. I'd go out on these long trips to Arizona to support courses, and I'd 400 or 500 jumps a year, and wanted to start competing, and that was so unlike me to do anything outside of work. The fact that I would go recreationally skydive, like that's what my wife said. She said, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was like, "I'm doing it for work. I'm doing it because they asked me. I don't need you to be a breacher. I need for you to be an air subject matter expert. I need for you to be the best jumper in the room." Done. If you would ask me to be a fucking dental tech, I'd be a tier 1 fucking dental tech. It didn't matter. If that's what you wanted me to do, that's what I'm going to do. And I obsessed over it. I spent a lot of personal money and a shit ton of time out there jumping in wind tunnel, and got all my instructor certifications, and throwing out tandems and everything else. But it started to remove me from the group. I started running a bunch of solo projects, or me or 1 or 2 guys, and we'd go out there and we'd just jump. We'd go do 100 jumps in a week. I mean, we jumped. And it really started to take a toll on the family life. Like, I was gone a lot. I can remember her sick as a fucking dog, like puking over the toilet, begging me not to go on this trip. And I looked at her, no sympathy. Like, gotta go. I didn't have to go. That was a made-up trip. That was a fun trip for me. We'd have a work trip that started on Monday. I'd fly out the Friday before. And I'd get a whole weekend full of jumping with all my friends, and the work trip would start. And then I'd stay late. So I turned a 2-week trip into a 3-week trip.
So was it the fun you were after, or was it just getting the fuck out of...
It was getting the fuck out of Virginia Beach. It was something completely different that I didn't have to answer to anybody for. It was my own. Completely separate group of friends who didn't know me. They didn't give a shit about my background. I mean, they knew. They didn't ask. They didn't care about the politics. They didn't care about what happened overseas. They liked me for me, and they liked skydiving. And I used that as an outlet. But I really used it to just separate myself from my family, and I threw up another wall. Like, I had my Virginia Beach life, and I have my jump life, and I'm just running straight this way. And she hated it. I mean, she begged me. She begged me. Stop going. Stop jumping. Stop doing this. Stop doing that. And I wouldn't. I couldn't. I was so addicted to it. And it wasn't even the jumping itself. It was just escaping reality. When I'm flying around, when I'm jumping these super small parachutes and doing whatever, I'm escaping reality. My reality is I am fucking miserable, and I am waiting to die. And I'm just unhappy. I don't have any justification for it. I can't make rhyme or reason, but if I say anything, they're definitely going to kick me out of here. So I'm going to suffer in silence, and I'm going to run this fucking thing until the wheels fall off. That's what I did.